I don't know if you guys know this, but you guys are the experts and the audience here. Again? Again? So, who's got a question? Because I'm sure we all have answers.
What are your right answers?
It's a good question.
Firm but fair.
I'm getting so tired of making up stuff for these things. Just too difficult to come up with facts.
So what do y'all use for hosting?
Libsyn?
Blueberry.
I use Libsyn, but I switched over to Blueberry.
Why is that? Pros, cons.
Pros, cons. Well, I mean, I could technically do things post from Libsyn to WordPress, but I found it much easier having the Blueberry hosting because then I had the plugin for Blueberry right there within the WordPress. So I didn't have to post a blog and then go back and try to repost elsewhere. It was just all done as one.
Okay.
So that it made it a little easier for me for what I'm using.
What's the cost of Blueberry versus Libsyn?
I think it's $20 a month. It's the same price.
Oh.
Is this the podcasting panel?
Yes. Here's a podcaster now.
That's why I'm here. Wow, there's a lot of people here.
So yeah, I think it's $25 a month, and Libsyn's the same. I think for 250 megs, but so it's the same for Blueberry, but you're getting unlimited. You're getting everything unlimited. I think it's the same thing for Libsyn too. I can't remember, but I know that I wouldn't have gone to Blueberry for a reason if I hadn't have seen that it was a better service overall as far as technicality was concerned and for price. It was pretty much the same price. I'm glad I didn't do as many podcasts as I had done because I was able to just transfer those over. But even if I had multiple podcasts, I would have been able to transfer those over. Blueberry would have done it for me. And if you had more than, I think it's like 500 megabytes or something like that, they would have charged you a certain amount, but they would have gotten all your podcasts and transferred over to Blueberry service.
What about all your feeds and everything?
What about?
You got to reset them all? Obviously, you lose your analytics. But
Yeah, I think Blueberry I think is optimized for that too. I think I can't remember. I haven't really dug deep because I recently just changed.
Podcast producer Debbie Walker is here.
Sorry.
Lunch was a lot shorter than it should have been.
I'm sorry, was that a criticism?
Oh.
Just a fact.
I'm teasing.
Well, you know what they say.
I waited till the line went down and then I didn't realize I didn't have as much time left. So.
I know, half my
Much
sandwich
time
is
doesn't,
in the other room, so yeah, I'm going to be finishing it. But I wanted to be here on the podcast panel, so.
Okay, this is an open discussion
Yeah.
forum.
Yeah.
Yeah, Miles, I guess you got started on it. Thank
Yep.
you.
So, y'all
What are we
talk.
doing? Yeah, we're all. Well, is anyone who here besides me and Debbie and Shannon? I want to say Shaman. Who here podcasts? Anyone? All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'd do it again.
Awesome.
Dan used to be.
Dan, Dan used to.
Well, I still am involved. I still edit 15 hours a week. But I don't know. I'm considering getting back into something. It's just a matter of co-host, no co-host, or why am I gonna do this podcasting nonsense again?
What's the topic?
Nice.
Don't have anything in particular. I mean, everything that's worth being done is already being done. And I don't think that I can do anything particularly better than everybody else that's doing things that are already doing things. So it's just a matter of doing something that necessarily hasn't been done, that somebody can't come along and do better than I can immediately. And that's not an easy task to come up with.
I know that feeling. Like you find a really good podcast and a subject you really want to do, and you're like, wow, they just kicked my butt, so why bother?
Well, I don't know. I've always looked at podcasting. I do a political podcast, and it's always been, I've always done it for me. I haven't really done it for anyone else but me, so it's like I know there's a lot of podcasts like that out there, and especially with politics, everybody's got their opinion that they have to get out there, but, it's never been a why bother. It's always been a, this is what I want to talk about, and if you choose to listen, great.
That's kind of where you have to start with the podcast, isn't it?
Excuse me?
That's kind of where you have to start with the podcast.
Yeah, if you don't have anything to say, then you're not, then don't podcast.
That's what you want to talk about, and if people listen, great. If
Yeah.
enough people listen where companies come and say, hey, can we sponsor your show, then make a few bucks off it. If not, we just do it for the fun of it.
Sure, yeah.
I think for us, it's mostly been like a way of contributing and just our way of doing what we wanted to do, and getting it out there.
And what is your show?
We're with Nerd of the Day, .net, and we actually have a couple different shows that
Oh,
we do.
cool. You're the stink tweet from
No,
this
that's
morning.
me.
Is that you?
Yeah, that's
Great.
me.
Awesome. That was
Best selling con so far.
I was wonderful. Wonderful. Oh, cool. Well, see, that's a good. I bet you guys have a pretty good following then. I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not too bad. It's on the incline, so that's good. We last few months we've moved up from 10 listeners 1 week to 20, and now we're at about 1,000.
Nice.
So it's moving along quite nicely. Our biggest problem is switching services so much and trying to figure out who has the best to offer,
Yeah.
where I can track it the best, who's going to give me the best data package.
Right.
And recently we just made a really, really strange move. We started hosting out of Dropbox. I took it off of Libsyn and it went to Dropbox.
How do you do that?
I use that, but not for podcasting.
Yeah, you drop the files into your public folder and it gives it a public URL, and then you can just distribute it. And they have unlimited bandwidth. And right now I emailed
It's
them
free for 6 gig.
and I emailed them and said, well, if you have too much coming in, when will you limit it? So they said with the size of the show, it's about 25 megabytes, 30 megabytes. It would take about 50,000 downloads for them to start limiting the bandwidth on my
Hey,
side.
come on, guys, have a seat.
So that's worth it for now.
And by then you'd be monetized and could afford it.
Right.
Well, what about your archive?
It's all archived on the back end.
Now,
Yeah, because I
you're not
have
gonna run out of space for your.
$10 a month gives me 100 gigs.
Yeah, that's.
So, and then I have my own server at the house that automatically archives everything back, and then automatically sends the RSSs out, the feeds everywhere, and we keep track of that. Everything goes through Google, so it keeps track
Just
of
all
anything, no
synced
matter where it goes or where it hosts now. I change it over to Google, so they follow it around.
Nice.
What are you doing to get the word out about your podcast?
We have a couple of things with. Usually, it's just an email to like upcoming people that I really enjoy listening to, like Giant Bomb and stuff like that, and be like, hey, would you mind featuring maybe an ad on your website or just a little clip about us? And there's a lot of them don't really advertise it, but for like $5, $10 here and there, they'll do a 30-second spot for you. And that really engaged us, as well as Stitcher Smart Radio. They're wonderful to work with. They're like a 5-man team there, so sometimes it will take 3-4 days for them to actually get back to you.
Yeah.
But Stitcher does really, really well. They offer promotional packages for you to do a read for them. So, and then it pulls it up and they do a little box on their website about
So
it.
you're saying you contact them and say, I'll mention you in my podcast if you put us on the front page
Yeah.
of Stitcher and the app.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It's a lot of times, like, if you just come out with that approach, it's usually good to go. There's been a bunch of companies that did shoot me down about it, but it's never hurt to ask.
Now, what about your ranking in iTunes?
We're not in iTunes.
You're not in iTunes? Okay.
No.
Okay.
No, we had a couple of different hosting issues, and
Okay.
iTunes was like, nope. So that's my problem right now, is because where it's coming from, since it's coming from Dropbox and it's not really recognized, and even though the RSS feeds are there, the way iTunes pulls it, they're not recognizing some of the metadata and the keyword stuff.
Right.
And they won't, if you don't have keyword insertion stuff in there, they won't take it. And that's fine, but like it's hard with the Dropbox. I think I cracked it finally, so I should be good to go. We'll
That
find out.
stinks when everybody does all their downloading off of iTunes.
Yes, it does. stink.
That's kind
But
of.
I think
And it's
what we
such an
changed.
ugly elephant too.
What we
It is the elephant, but it is an ugly elephant.
Yeah. What we changed. If you include a download link, I cut RSS out and they included a download link, and now it's recognizing. So iTunes should be up next week.
Well, that's good.
So they were like, "You see it now," and all I added was a download link straight to Dropbox.
Why don't you just have a duplicate feed? Like have an iTunes feed.
I didn't even think about that. was trying to keep it centralized.
I have an XML script that's really easy. You can just like copy paste your feed right into it and toss your keywords in there. And iTunes loves this feed.
Really?
It has everything you need. So if you just need a duplicate, I've seen some people where they get kicked out of iTunes for whatever reason, and they just create a fake show, put it up there, run it for a little while, and then switch everything back out until they get their show back on there and kind of do them. But Yeah, a duplicate feed, just an XML feed would probably solve all your issues.
Yeah, then I might have to go that route then. I just didn't want to go out of centralization of everything in one. But I mean, if it's going to be the easiest way, then but now it's just it's worth
And
it.
the duplicate feed, I mean, it'd only take you like an extra 2-3 minutes to manage on every episode. It's just a matter of, you know, having the XML file on your server and doing that.
Thanks for the tip.
Speaking of which, what is everybody using to replace FeedBurner since people deprecated it?
You can use Blueberry to track stuff. That's one of the easier ones.
But I mean, as far as setting up the feed for iTunes?
You use WordPress. Just use the feed that comes along with that.
I use Libsyn, so it takes care of it for me.
But I think in WordPress, like what you're saying with Blueberry, when you have the PowerPress plugin,
Yeah.
then it'll do it all for you.
Yeah.
It'll tag everything out there. And I don't know, and I think I was having trouble with this the other day. Can you tag certain episodes as clean or explicit when you upload a specific episode? You used to be able to.
I don't know.
So that's something I'll have to look into, but I was having a problem with that. But I know that you can do it with the PowerPress plugin, and it's really easy. That's why I choose to use that, because it makes everything easy instead of having to have the feed burner. And I was having the same problem with feed burner. It was a big pain in the ass. Is all it was. And so then once I did it with Blueberry, it was 20 minutes, maybe 15 at most, if I had everything already written out.
With the XML feed, like I was talking about before, you just throw your Blueberry redirect directly into the feed link, and it does all that for you. You don't have to manage it through WordPress and stuff like that too. And it's something that's solid that if your feed changes and things like FeedBurner and Blueberry go out of business, you can just stop putting that into your feed, and your feed never changes. Your feed's always the same file name. It's just the redirects in there that do the hit counts and everything like that change.
Cool. Who else is a podcaster here? We got some new guys here. You guys podcast? Now you're just curious? Yeah, cool. Cool. Oh, there were others. Who are the other hands? What do you guys do? I wanna know what your shows are.